Hey guys, what's going on? Hope you're all having a good day out there today, and thanks for tuning in to this morning's video. Much appreciated. And today I'm going to have a little discussion about spy baits. I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on them, sort of go over a couple of the biggest mistakes, why people struggle catching fish on spy baits, because we're really right in the middle of prime spy bait season. You know, they catch bass all year long. To me, there's two windows for a spy bait, and that is like right now this time of year, and then there's also a window for spy baits in the summertime when you have a lakes that have a lot of clear water and some larger smallmouth bass populations. But specifically, I want to talk about the more purest aspect of spy bait fishing and why they really don't get used as much as what they need to, because they're really a highly productive bait in the right situation. So anyway, let's get into this a little bit here. These are the Duo Realis spy bait here. This is like probably the most popular models out there. They're about probably a little over 3 inches long, two propellers on the end if you're not familiar with them, and they sink very slowly like that. And when you first look at them, a lot of people think they look like a topwater prop bait. And that's when I first saw the thing, that's what I thought it was too. And until, I did more research and started to experiment a little bit. But the key to this thing, and why a lot of people don't fish this bait, is simply the way it looks. Because the way this bait is fished, which is down deeper in the water column, when you look at a bait like this, you don't think that it's going to catch any fish. It just doesn't look that good until you get in the water. Once you get this bait in the water and you see how it works, when it's set up right, and I'm going to show you guys how to set it up right, because that's one of the reasons people don't catch fish on it, is they don't set it up right. The thing sort of vibrates through the water like that. Just a real subtle not vibration, but a real subtle movement like that when it's working right. And it's the true cold water finesse technique. And in order to get it right, you got to do a couple things. First of all, one of the biggest mistakes a lot of guys make with spy baits is they have it on too big a line. I use 4 and 6 pound test Seaguar and Vizex line, and I use 4 pound test most of the time. Light line is a key element on this particular bait for two different reasons. Number one, to get it down into the depths that you need to fish it at. And number two, the lighter the line, the more you get that little subtle wiggle like that with it. So try going with like 4 pound test, fluorocarbon line. The second reason a lot of people don't catch fish on this thing is they don't fish it slow enough. They throw it out there, maybe let it sink and start reeling it in. You have to reel this bait extremely slow like that. Well, give it a chance to work on its own. Give it a chance to have that slow wiggle. So I'm throwing it out there, and I'll count it down into the depth zone that I think the fish are. For example, here in the Ozarks right now, a lot of the bass are suspended out over points anywhere between, say, 7 or 8 feet down to 20 feet. So I'll fan cast it all over these points. I'll count it down to where I think it's in that 10-foot zone. And then I'll just slowly start creep it like that. Just slowly reel it just fast enough to get those blades turning. And occasionally I'll just pop it like that, or just a little twitch like that midway into the retrieve. But most of the time it's that real slow retrieve like that. You got to keep it in that depth zone. A lot of times I'll stop it too, and I'll let it fall a little bit more and then start reeling it until I really get dialed into the zone that the fish are in. The next mistake I think a lot of people make is they use too big of hooks on the thing. The hooks on this bait, they come, this is some of the stock hooks on there, but you don't want to go with anything over like a number 6 hook on there, because if you use a bigger hook, it's going to do two things. It's going to make the bait sink a little too fast, and it's going to take away some of that side-to-side action. So don't go to anything over like a number 6 like that, light wire number 6 hook. Those are the 3 elements. Since this is a finesse technique, it's going to work better in clear water. Normally, most of the time, I like water visibilities of at least 4 foot in clarity with it. And another thing that you'll find out about a spy bait, even in the winter when the water is cold, like in the 40s, specifically low 40s, they like the nastier type days. They like days that you got a little bit of wind, low light conditions, maybe cloudy, that type of a thing, even when it's in the wintertime. And I think a lot of time is the the flash of that propeller generates strikes a little bit better during those low light conditions. But anyway, guys, the main thing is just throw them. I mean, people, you hear people talking about jerk baits and Alabama rigs and jigs and swim baits and, you know, jigging spoons and all that type of stuff in the winter, but you just don't hear that many people fishing the spy baits for as good as these baits are. I mean, they're one of the most deadly wintertime baits that you could possibly throw when the fish are set up in the position to be caught on a spy bait, which is normally right now. So anyway, guys, just a quick video. Give them a try. Next time you're out fishing and you're catching a few fish on an Alabama rig or a jerk bait, anytime you're catching them on an Alabama rig or jerk bait, those fish are positioned to be caught on a spy bait too. So give them a try. You know, it'll allow you to mop the area up. It'll allow you to maximize the amount of fish that are in the area. And once you start catching a few fish on them, you'll gain a lot more confidence in them and probably start throwing them more. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated, and we'll talk to y'all later.